What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. These first stack of books, these are all Eclipse books that I picked up in a lot on eBay a couple weeks ago. There was a total of about 50 books, but I picked up the whole lot for $36, so it ended up being, I don't know, like 75 or 80 cents a book. I'm not going to show all those because I don't have them anymore. I got rid of a bunch of them because I bought them for two books, basically, two or three books, so I'll show those. This first one, Airborne Number 5, just a beautiful Dave Stevens cover. This one goes for, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 40 bucks now, so this was basically the price of the lot. Paid for it by itself. This next one was a little happy surprise. It's a three-dimensional Destroy. This is a actual three-dimensional comic, and it comes with these sweet glasses, and you can see that it's got the old school 3D on there, the blue and red, and then I'm gonna leave that intact, but definitely a blast from the past, so it was cool. Let's see, I got Destroyer Duck, I got the whole run. This first one, this is the first appearance of Gru, who I think they said there's going to be a Netflix cartoon based on that. So this one's been picking up a lot of steam lately. This one goes for, I don't know, anywhere between $20 and $50 raw, depending on condition. It's not the greatest condition. The spine's a little worn, a few ticks and everything. The corners are not sharp. Pages aren't very white, but again, for 75 cents, it's a pretty good deal. And I picked up the whole run. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and this is Jack Kirby doing some independent stuff, and I guess this was in the mid to late 80s, I think, maybe early 80s. Let me open it up here. Let's see, what do we got? 1984, yeah, so early 80s, so I guess Kirby did the covers. It doesn't look like he did the pencils on the inside, but the pencils look pretty cool too, so that's nice. That's number 6. And is that Frank Miller? That'd be Frank Miller cover. There's FM on the bottom. Kind of looks like him. That's number 7. That's the last issue. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Cover artist. It doesn't say, but it's got FM down there. I think that's usually how Frank Miller signs his stuff, so that could be a Frank Miller cover. That's pretty cool. So that's the whole run of the Destroyer Duck books 1 through 7. And then the only other ones I'm going to keep from that run are this run of, from that lot, are these Crossfire books. I picked up the Crossfire and Rainbow a couple months ago now. It was Marx Brothers appearance in there, and so I read that, and that was the first time I'd read a Crossfire book, so it was pretty funny, pretty entertaining, so I'm going to try to get this whole run of Crossfire. I think it only goes up to like 30 issues maybe, and the only one that holds any value is like 23 or something, has Marilyn Monroe on the cover. So that one was not in this lot, unfortunately, but I got number 2, number 3, number 4, that's cool, number 8, it's a cool cartoon cover, that's Rainbow, it's like his girlfriend, I guess. So he's just fun. Crossfire's like I think he's an actor in 50s Hollywood, so it's kind of a period piece, so it's kind of cool concept, I guess. 18, 19, 20, and again, these are all like 75 cents a piece. They ended up being average about, so I was happy to get those. And 21, so that's the last in my eBay lot. The rest of these are books I picked up from, there's some dollar books in there. Most of these are from The Zone, a local shop here in Louisville. We had some snow a few weeks ago, and a bunch of the businesses around town had to close early and close for a day or two because couldn't deal with the snow. So when Zone opened back up, they had a little impromptu snow sale. So all their back issues that were less than $10 were $1, and then they had like 45% off toys and stuff. So I just went and picked up some back issues, mostly run filler, but it was good prices on everything. So all these were $1. Start here with Batman Ninja Turtles Volume 3, Number 3. I'm just trying to get all these Batman Ninja Turtle runs. There's 3 volumes of them, so I've got most of the 3rd volume now, I think. So I was happy to find that. Next we get this cool Battle Beast Number 1. I've never seen this before. I remember the toys from the 80s. They were the, I think they're based on Japanese toys that were supposed to be Transformers, I think. But when they were Transformers in Japan, but when they released them here, they just released them as just non-transformable, beast-looking things. I remember there was an elephant that I liked, and then this ram guy, I remember him too. They had the little hologram stickers on the chest. They didn't transform, but they were still pretty cool. They're about maybe an inch or 2 tall, so I didn't know they had a comic. So I think this ran for, I looked it up a couple weeks ago. It was a mini-series, I think. They only had number 1, so I just grabbed that. I got this cool Deathlock number 2. This was the mini-series from the early 90s. Joe Jusko did the cover on number 1. That might be I don't recognize his signature. I was going to say Sienkiewicz, but I don't think that's him. And then here's number 4, another cool cover. This was just kind of the relaunching of the Deathlock character in the 90s. So they did this 4-issue miniseries, and then he got his own ongoing series. So I was happy to find those. Let's see. Got this Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America, Spider-Man. I grabbed this just because the Michael Turner cover just kind of jumped out at me. So usually Michael Turner, most of his stuff is like the good girl art. So anytime I find stuff where he's not doing that, I like that stuff too, but I like the superhero stuff as well. So I was happy to find this. And he did a few covers for this little mini-series. Looks like David Finch did the interior art, so he's really good too. I like him a lot. And he did some of these covers, but I grabbed this Michael Turner cover. Next, we've got Fearless Defenders. This is number 4. This is a good Mark Brooks cover. Just trying to piece this run together. Kind of a funny little, like cutout cover, I guess. Homage to those old those cutout toys where the paper dolls. You cut out the doll and then cut out the clothes and put them on them. So that was pretty funny. Let's see here. Next, we got Gamora number 3. This is just her ongoing, excuse me, or miniseries. Maybe it was an ongoing, and they just canceled it. I think it's about 5 or 6 issues. So I picked number 1 up a few months ago, so I'm going to try to, and I read that and I liked it, so I'm going to piece the whole series together. Like I said, it's not too many issues, so I was happy to find number 3. And I found number 5 as well, so I don't know if that's Fury on the cover with her or not. She looks like a ninja or something in that outfit, but pretty cool. Next, got Battle World Marvel Zombies number 1. Just picked this up because it was a cool Elsa Bloodstone cover. She's on most of the covers for this little run for the Marvel Zombies, so I'm going to try to pick those up while they're still cheap before all of her appearances start going crazy. She doesn't have too many covers, so the initial miniseries that she had where the character was blonde, those are really expensive now and getting out of reach. So in that next wave, number 1, that was, I don't know how much it's selling for now, but it was going crazy for a while, selling for like $70 or $80. That's a terrible cover, but a really good series. This is a good cover. I'm not sure how good the series is, but I was happy to find that for $1. Next, we got some good, some 90s goodness. This Meteor Man number 1. This was based on the Robert Townsend movie from what year is this? Didn't have the year on the cover, but this is definitely early 90s. This was an early superhero movie, actually. I mean, right after Batman came out, I think. Yeah, there weren't too many superhero movies, so this was one of the first ones that came out around that time. So this ran for maybe 4 to 6 issues. And I think it's a newsstand copy. Most of the copies that I saw online were newsstand copies as well. There's a photo cover, obviously, and there's a cover, like a drawn cover with comic art on it for number 1. I don't know if that's what the direct edition is or not. I couldn't figure it out. But it's just kind of a fun 90s throwback movie. Next, got Ninja Turtles 106. This is just the current ongoing IDW run. This was just run filler that I needed. This was right around the time I got back into collecting a couple years ago. I just missed this one. This was before I started buying them new, I think. So just trying to piece that together as much as I can. Next, we got Ultimate X-Men 96. So this is not a Mark Brooks cover or interiors, but it's kind of a part of the arc. He did the pencils, the interior art on, I think it was like 94 to 100. So this is part of that story. He just, for whatever reason, didn't do this issue. So I just picked it up. So when I read it, I'll have it to go through. Not that the story, I'm sure, is that confusing or anything, but just completionist and everything. So 98, this is a Mark Brooks cover, and he did the interiors as well. So that's why I grabbed that one. And then number 100 again. It doesn't look like a Mark Brooks cover, but the interior is him. So I was happy to find that. And then, let's see, just Uncanny X-Men 510. This is Greg Land cover and interior. So I just recently started trying to do a little research on Mark Brooks, Greg Land, excuse me, and Greg Horn, trying to figure out what books they did the pencils, the interiors on, because most of them are now just strictly cover artists. So I'm going back and trying to find some of their early work when they were doing the interiors on books. So it seems like Mark Brooks did that Ultimate X-Men run. Greg Land did this single issue of X-Men, and then some more stuff that I'm getting ready to show you. So I just like trying to find, if I find a cover artist I like going back and finding their interior art as well, just because there's more of that. And the popular artists now, they kind of only do cover art. So the interior art on a lot of the stuff that comes out now it leaves a lot to be desired. So I mean, these books aren't that old. I mean, probably 10 years or less, but they did the interiors, so that's why I'm picking them up. Alright, and this next stack of books, these are from Pops Comics, another local shop here in Louisville. And there's a couple books. I'll show the Books A Million books first, yeah. So I don't know where you guys are, but if you have Books A Million around you, there's 2 in the Louisville area, 1 in Louisville, and then 1 in southern Indiana. The one in Louisville has comic books for sale. I have a few boxes back by the magazines that I discovered a few months ago. They don't have a ton of great stuff in there. It's mostly like overstock 80s or 80s and 90s Valiant Image stuff, some weird independent things, and some. This first one is the early 2000s, so I'll show that. This is Sojourn number 25. This is Greg Land. This is a cross-gen series. He did basically the whole series, the covers and the interiors. So I'm going to try to piece this one together. These don't go for anything, and I found this one for $1 at Books A Million. So you can piece it together pretty cheaply if you like Greg Land. So this was number 25. And then I got Espers number 2. This is Greg Horn. He did the cover and he did the interior as well. So I think he did this Espers run, lasted maybe 3 or 4 issues. There's a couple of them, but Greg Horn only did one of the other runs, I think, and that's what this one is. So it's kind of hard when you're just looking them up to figure out which is which. So if you can, open it up and see if he did the interiors as well. That's how I figured this one out. So those were the two books I got from Books A Million. Those are both $1 each. And then this last stack, this is the stuff that I got from Pops. These are all from their dollar bins as well. Ultimate Power #1. This is a Greg Land miniseries. He did the covers and the interiors on all these. Just beautiful work. So I got #1, #2, and #3. And this was either a 9 or 12 issue series. It might have lasted 12 issues. Maybe 9. Maybe I just found 9 recently. I can't remember. But it was just three of 9. So it's a 9-issue series. So, and again, these don't go for anything. I'm just picking these up because I like the artist. This was kind of cool. It was Tengu Common. I'd never heard of this before, but the cover caught my eye. You can see there it's signed by the artist Jenna Bastian. I just like the Japanese art style and that aesthetic. So I like the Usagi Yojimbo books, and this kind of speaks to that. It's got the Tengu, I think is Japanese. It's either some kind of a bird or some kind of, I think it's a bird. So that's kind of what this is. I flipped through it. It's kind of the story of a high school girl or a middle school girl in Japan, and she like dons this suit to fight crime and everything. So looked pretty cheesy. The artwork was cool though, and again for $1, it's just something random that looked pretty entertaining. This next one is Mondo Snarfo. This is just an anthology book from some indie creators back in the late 70s, early 80s. I grabbed this one, so it's got Spiegelman on there. He's the guy that created Mouse, and that was in the news recently because a school in Tennessee banned the Mouse graphic novel, or made them take it out of the library or something. So that was in my head, so I thought this might be like an early Mouse appearance or something. It might have some value. It actually does not, unfortunately, and this is the second print. I was looking online, and the first print was limited to like 500 copies, and that does go for something between like $50 and $100 online. But unfortunately, this was the second printing, so there was, I think it said like 1,500 copies, so not as limited, and it only goes for like $5 or $10 online, but still kind of a cool piece. I just like these early anthologies of the indie books. You find some weird stuff in there, so I was happy to find that. And last book here, we got an old innovation book, East Meets West. Just another weird indie book. I picked this one up. The cover kind of looked like Dave Stevens, but it's not. But then on the back, it says Dave Stevens is in there. So he did the inks on the interior. So no actual original like pencil sketches or anything from Dave Stevens, but you can see his ink work on the inside. So that was pretty cool, and kind of just a goofy muscle man, good girl cover. So happy to find that. This doesn't go for anything, but I just like these old innovation books. They're kind of goofy, and just find some fun art on there. So I was happy to get that. Alright guys, that's going to do it. That's my haul. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.